It's so beautiful. Yeah, it was this piece, but I'm going to explain that and share the link with you guys. It's a very special take on Beethoven's Ninth. There's a couple versions, but I'm going to send you the one. I think it's the best one out there for you to check out. Hopefully, it'll be something to encourage you. So let me start recording our podcast. Doing this is a dual thing. So you install this and you go online and catch the podcast. So let me stop the music, though. All right, there we go.
Don't be boring.
Okay, now we're ready to get rolling with our next episode here. Day 8 of the COVID lockdown here in Pasadena, Arcadia. And thanks so much, guys, for tuning in and checking in with us. I noticed I've been talking to some people online, and a lot of people have been saying that, things have kind of slowed down on Instagram, and rightfully so. I think a lot of us right now are kind of reassessing our time, what's most important to us. And it totally makes sense. Hey, you know what? Why spend tons of time on Instagram when you're in the room with your family and your loved ones? And more things, there are more important things than worrying about posting pictures about lashes and so forth. So I get it. For those of you who are on our Instagram audience, glad you came. You're here to watch what we're doing. And those of us listening right now on our podcast, thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate your support and love through all this. We really do this out of a passion to serve our community. And it's when this all happened that we felt like this is our best way we can help. And as you guys know, we kind of have a format of what things we're going to go to. But first, I wanted to share some with Tuss. I hadn't told her yet. I think I'm on day 4 of basically wearing my slippers 24 hours a day. Pretty much haven't changed my slippers now into real shoes since Tuesday or Monday, I think this week. It's pretty cool. Yeah. How about you?
Shake your hand?
Yeah. Or high five. No, social distance.
No, elbows.
Yeah, elbows there. Oh.
Okay. Well, I've been wearing my Daiso slippers, and I should show everybody how much I love them. They're made out of, what do you call it?
Daiso plastic?
No, they're made out of the same shoes that Crocs are made of.
Oh, and
I
they
love
only cost
them.
$1.99.
No, these are especially priced at $3.
Oh, that's so expensive.
And I love them. They're fantastic. So
in the age of saving money, Daiso is everyone's friend now. And we're really going to work hard on getting Daiso to be a sponsor, I think.
I don't think they will.
They probably won't. Yeah. Anyhow, so let's get into the good news of the day. We have a bunch of good things going on. I mean, there's a lot of bad going on, but we want to focus on some of the good things and encourage you guys.
Because there's vibes only.
So first thing, I think you guys probably saw that President Trump did sign the $2 million stimulus package.
It's $2 million.
$2 million, guys. That's a lot of money. Insane, unprecedented. Never seen anything like this. But the good news is
it's only $2 million.
Only $2 trillion.
Because I'm like $2 million.
Yeah, why did I say that?
Far.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, not million.
It's like, here's your penny.
Everyone gets a penny. Oh gosh, $2 trillion stimulus package. Thank you. I was wondering, only $2 million? I'm like, gosh,
Whatever.
Really? What's up with you? Okay. You're so negative. It's not enough. You want more? Gimme. I don't know what I'm talking about, do I? Anyhow, so that's really good news. And we'll talk about this in a second, but we do have a link in our bio that gives you more information on that. So you can go into our Instagram page, go to the links or the bio links in the bio, and in there will be a little short article that kind of just explains how this is all going to break down. And should pretty much anyone who's working in the lash industry and not working right now, I think it qualifies it. You're all going to get a little bit of money. So good news is unless you're making like $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year, then you won't. But it kind of breaks it down real simple. So check it out. That's in the link in our bio. Also, anyone right now pretty much can apply for unemployment if you're unemployed. So normally it's only for people who've been paying into the unemployment insurance. That's been changed pretty much, I think, in every state. Or if not, it's going to be changed. I know in California for sure you can. If you were
so you mean that means
Yes.
was a sole proprietor.
Yep. You can now file for unemployment.
And I don't have any staff.
You have no staff, and you did not pay into the workers or the unemployment insurance. You too can apply for it. In the gig economy, people are in the gig economy. You guys, who are all 1099s, renting a booth rental, you guys can all also apply for unemployment in your local region if you're shut down.
So who doesn't qualify for that?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I won't go into too much detail. Wait, poor connection there. So so that's good news for anyone right now who's not working. There is financial assistance out there for you in the sense of unemployment. So definitely the check coming from the U.S. government. That's they say April 6th, guys. That's fast. We're talking about like 10, 11 days, we should all be getting a check. Those of us who make in the right, or not the higher echelons as far as income. And then basically we'll also, you can apply for unemployment. Now, I don't know how bad it's going to be with unemployment because we've had skyrocketing unemployment like we've never seen before. I'm assuming that this is going to take time. It's not going to be like unemployment checks are going to be coming out in the next week. They got to seriously process, hundreds of thousands of not millions of people now through unemployment. So that is going to take some time, but at least it's available and there's a process in place and there will be money coming. So hopefully you got enough money to tie you over for the next couple of weeks. And then eventually the unemployment will kick in plus the government money and we can all live off the government.
Yeah.
And that'll be good. That'll be awesome. Another thing that's really good news about the SBA disaster loans. If you haven't looked at SBA disaster, you can go in the link in our bio and click over into that, and you'll find out that the SBA is providing disaster loans. These are different loans than what you normally get from the SBA as far as business loans. And these type of loans are cool because you do not need to pay them back for 12 months, guys. 12 months. I mean, that's amazing, especially if you have a staff. I mean, I don't think you should be looking for an SBA loan if you're an independent single practitioner because you really don't have that many costs. But if you have a staff, you have a team, and you're trying to maintain things and keep things going, and you don't want to just lose everyone, maybe you can lay them off, but let them know, hey, we'll bring you back, but you still need funds to pay for maybe you have a bigger space for rent, and you have more insurance, and you have more bills, right? So the SBA is here to help out. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming this is going to take a long time. I know that some people are talking about SBA loans. This regular process could be 6-9 months long to get a regular SBA. I'm going to think because these are disaster loans, these are going to be quicker to get, but I don't know. But that said, once you get it, it's going to be 12 months with no payment, no interest, and you can take up to 30 years to pay them back. So that means you can really drag it out. If you just need like $5,000, $10,000 over 30 years, guys, at a low interest rate, it's like 3 point something. So it's really low interest rate and it's really long extended payments and you don't have to pay for 1 year. So those are all things that are going to make it really easy for you to get back into business with a small business loan with the SBA. Now, they do say they want collateral. And so if you don't have a house or property or anything like that, like us, we don't, it's going to be a little more difficult, but they still say apply. They're not saying no to people with no collateral, but I'm going to guess that you're going to probably have a higher interest rate possibly and a little bit more security for them as far as getting their funds back quicker. I don't know. The rules are not all laid out perfectly here in front of me, but if you go to the SBA, start doing some research and talk to someone, you can get some information on how you, especially if you have a staff, guys, and you need some money to tie you over right now, this could be the way to do it. I'm not saying it's the best way to go because debt is never good. If you can find a way just to delay things and hold out for a little bit, that's probably the better way. But at least the SBA is here to help out. Also, another good news, if you are worried about getting in for your real ID anytime soon in California, I think this is national, but I know it's for California for sure. It's been delayed till basically October of 2021. Actually, I think it's the whole nation.
So what he's talking about is the ID, our driver's license now has to have like a little star on it that says, what is it? Whatever they call it. I can't remember.
It's a more secure version of your ID.
It's like your passport is included into your driver's license so that you can use that to fly with.
You won't be able to fly anywhere in the domestic United States without this real ID. And
unless you have a passport.
Well, unless you have a passport. Actually, I don't know. I'm not sure. I know international is good.
You have to have it for domestic.
Okay.
So anyway, you just get that, but it's been delayed. So
yeah, it's been delayed for a whole year. So I know there was a lot of things out there where I was beginning to look. We went down one day because we said, hey, we're out of work. Might as well go down to DMV. And the line was super long. We said, oh, screw it. I don't care. It's not worth it. But now we got another year to go ahead and get on board with that. So you got a lot of time. So don't worry about that. Something I want to just encourage you with some other good news of the day that I thought that was really cool. And just a cool idea. I heard this about watching the strategies video today where Neil Dukoff was speaking and sharing about how to kind of ramp up and get ready to start your salon. Like in anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks, probably things will start loosening up. And at some point you're going to have to restart, right? So they're giving tips and information. And by the way, the link is in our bio for that video, something I think you should all watch. It's a really good information, really helpful. Some stuff I even got from here is from them. But one of the things they shared, what I thought that was so cool, is one salon. They're encouraging people, by the way, during this time, especially if you have a team, you need to stay connected. You need to stay engaged with your team. Don't just say, hey guys, I'll see you when it's all over. When the zombie apocalypse is gone, I'll come back and say hi to you.
Because that's not leadership.
That's not leadership. And if you want to have a team to come back to, you need to stay connected to them today. And so they're advising, hey, if you don't have a texting app in place, like GroupMe is a good one. There's a bunch of others out there. Group texting, you can just type that in. You'll get all sorts of recommendations in Google. We use GroupMe in our salon. It was a really good one. Those strategies, they use GroupMe, I think actually maybe because of us. I don't know if it's our recommendation. But that said, poor connection, coming back. And we're back. Sorry for the poor connection there. That said, they shared this in the text saying, hey guys, we just baked a bunch of cookies. And this one salon owner baked a bunch of cookies and took it to all his staff. And now hopefully it was done with social distancing, just put it out the door, knock, ding door, ditch, whatever, and run off with a little note, but just a little way to show you appreciate your team, say, I love you guys, I'm thinking about you. And of course, if you're a salon owner like us, times like this are so, it can be really painful because you have so many stresses, but trying to encourage and stay engaged with the team is so important. And if you can do that, that'd just be a really special thing. So I just say that as a little gift or encouragement to those of you who have staff. Maybe you want to think about going out there and doing something fun like that. It doesn't have to be cookies. Maybe you stink at cookies. Maybe you can go out and get Starbucks for your staff and drop them off at the door. Whatever it is you can do to encourage them, or if money is an issue, then maybe just find little ways to encourage your team. Let them know that you care about them. That's going to be really helpful. Real quick, I want to go over the links I put on our page, because every day I'm looking for new things for you guys to watch, things that are helpful for your business and encouragement. So first, I did, like I said earlier, I have a link to the strategies video about planning for your reopening. I think it's a great video. It's about an hour and 25 minutes. It's long, but lots of good information for you. So definitely check it out. Secondly, Salon Today. I put a link in there from Salon Today. 15 ways to work on your business while you're waiting. And it's all good stuff, really good stuff. Highly recommend you guys checking out that article. Then this is the prize today. This is my favorite post. Dr. David Price, he's a physician working at Ground Zero in New York right now at a COVID-only hospital. So this hospital is only taking COVID patients. They have 1,200 beds. 100% of the beds are for COVID patients. And he said that, I won't even go into details. You just have to watch the video. It's about an hour, and it's from it's about 4 days ago, but the information there is so encouraging.
It will just allay your fears. It tells you what to do in case you think you have it.
Yeah.
It tells you how to live in your house if somebody has it. It tells you, I mean, it's just so reassuring.
It's really empowering, because one of the things right now we lack when we are scared is information, and we feel like we're out of control, right? You'll feel a whole lot more in control after watching this video.
Completely. It'll tell you how to handle delivery, food delivery, how to, are the N95 masks necessary?
And really, how transmissible is this disease? Is it super contagious? Is it a little contagious? Whatever. I know we're all over the map on this thing. We hear lots of bad stories. Well, this is a doctor who's in the middle of New York right now, taking care of patients. And he shares, I'll just say this one thing he shared that was very encouraging. He says, I have no fear of getting the COVID-19 as long as I wash my hands and don't touch my face. He says, I know I will not get sick. And I am with people 10, 12 hours a day with this disease. That's all he's dealing with. He's not mixing with different types of patients, only COVID-19. And he says, because if you do the best practices and you take care of yourself and you're smart, you're going to get through this and you're going to be fine.
But you should watch it, because he does give you specific strategies on, yes, wear the mask, but why? Just so that you're reminded not to touch your face.
Yeah. And
gives you a whole routine.
There's a lot of great information. So it's a must watch. It will really, I think it will comfort a lot of you who are scared that you're just going to get it by walking around the street and just walking by people or.
Sorry.
Okay. What are you doing?
I was trying to get the keyboard. I was going to put that on his name on there.
Oh, doctor. Okay. Go ahead. Dr. David. Well, anyhow, it's not.
I'll just do it with my virtual keyboard because you don't have one on the phone.
Yeah, sorry, there's not one right there. His name is Dr. David Price. Dr. David Price. If you write COVID-19 Dr. David Price in Google, it will pop up on your field on YouTube, and you can watch it there, or just go to our Instagram page, click on the link, and you can watch it from there on your phone. So it's a great video, probably the best thing I've seen, and the one that takes away all the fear. Because I literally, as I read a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure a lot of you are, maybe right now some of you aren't. That's one of the things I think some people are going to say, you know what, guys, you know what, look for the big headlines like, hey, they signed the bill today. Great. We know about that. Hey, this is what's going on. But reading story after story after story about the COVID-19 and how horrible it is and so forth, it's not encouraging. It's not going to help change your day or make you do better work. If anything, it might make you shrink down and just shut down and not want to engage. And that's the last thing we need to be doing, right? We want to stay engaged. We want to stay, and we lost connection. And we want to stay engaged. We want to stay and basically really, as best as we can to cope with this as most as we can. You keep pulling away. Am I saying something?
I'm looking at your mustache. I don't like the way you cut it.
Okay. You don't know how I cut it. Well, thank you. That's
you cut it wrong.
I didn't really cut my mustache in a long time, but okay. I'm glad you're talking about my mustache. And this time of great urgency. Tustin is most worried about my mustache. That's awesome.
All right.
Then my last thing, this is my most encouraging video of the day to watch. It's why I actually started out with our podcast here. Listen to Beethoven's Ode to Joy. Was the Rotterdam Philharmonic did an amazing rendition of Beethoven's Ode to Joy. Now, maybe you're like, I hate classic. I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But if you have any heart, or if you have a little anything where if you like, a lot of you probably don't realize you like classical music if you watch movies, because that's all they use is classical music. Yeah, shame on me. Something Lash Nerd said about my mustache. Thank you. Fellow shaming from other people. This is awesome.
You need some shame.
So, and in this piece, what they did is I don't think it's their whole orchestra, but it's a large selection of the orchestra, and each individual plays at home and recorded it. And then they mixed it all together and made it into this online video of about 15, 20 people playing. And then they add in the choir at the end, which that obviously was pre-recorded, but it is super, I don't know, powerful. I mean, I was crying at the end of it. It was very cathartic for me and really helped me. I don't know, just with all the stress,
that pent-up coronavirus.
All the pent-up corona news. I just broke down, and it was an amazing piece of art. I think it will be encouraging. It'll be uplifting, and it's something I think we should all, if you like to go, please click on the link, and you'll love it. Okay, next Tustin's going to share a little bit about some things she's been working on, some projects, maybe some stuff that you can go ahead and work on. It'd be cool.
Okay, so I thought I'd share with you. You need to stay here because I need you.
I do? Okay.
Yeah.
My nose is itching, so.
Today I started making some bread, and I used, because yeast is in short supply. So what I did was I made a sourdough starter a couple of days ago, and I've been feeding that in the refrigerator, and it's just basically it's concentrated yeast. So I use that starter. It's called a sponge. I guess they called it a sponge in the 50s. Some cultures will call it like a poolish. And anyway, so you take that, it's like really sticky and gooey, and then you mix it in with the dough. So I made that dough earlier, and now it's been rising for like a couple hours.
For years.
No. And I'm going to let Paul punch it down. So this is the fun part. Yes.
Punch it.
Punch it. Okay, so please put this on so that you don't get your nasty germs.
Oh yeah, because I just touched my nose
on our fresh bread.
Okay, this is me getting sanitized.
Okay, now don't touch that with anything else, and don't breathe on it. All right, so let me.
I did it. I didn't breathe on it. So here's for our YouTube audience.
So here's the bread. You can't smell it, but it smells all yeasty and bread-like. And let's take
my hand just wants to touch it.
Peek at it. Oh, look at that. When I first put it in, it was just a tiny little ball, and it's grown. Woo-hoo. Okay, so now what I want you to do is make a fist, and you don't have to do it super violently, but I want you to punch it in the middle and let all that gas come out and kind of fold it in.
Oh, no, it's sticking to my hand. Should I hit it again?
Okay, there we go.
I feel like I'm like on Tonight Show or something right now.
It's raw.
It's raw.
He's the kind of guy that always eats the raw dough. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do, now that it's been punched down, is I'm going to divide it into 2 loaves. I'm going to put it into the pan. I'm going to let it rise again so it gets all stretchy and full. No, it's not. It's not a sweet dough.
No, you're talking to Mike.
Oh, and then I'm going to I'm going to bake it. So there.
There we go.
Anyway, you too can make bread. It's fun.
Do you need to put oil, I guess, on it?
You put oil in the pan so that it in the bowl so that it doesn't stick on it like it did on the glove. I should have oiled the glove.
Yeah, I should have oiled my glove. Sounds like a rock album. Oil in the glove.
So anyway, that's
all right. So that's all right. I thought you had one more thing you were going to do.
Well, I was going to let me just show you the sponge. I'll show it to you what it looks like. Let me go get it.
Tuss, by the way, I don't know about you guys, but our house has never been cleaner. So it's been wonderful cleaning the house, just getting everything set up. Still got dough on my fingers here. So it's been nice. I mean, not been super productive. And that's another thing I want to give it. Anyone right now that is feeling guilty because they're just staying at home and chilling, guys, we all need a little time to chill. It's okay. And maybe a little time to cry. Maybe a little time to just kind of just reassess things. We don't have to be super productive 24/7. LA.
And we got notified Amber Alert style.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
So let me tell you, this is what we call the sponge. And when I first put it in, it was at this level right here. And like basically in an hour, it has already like crawled up the sides this high. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. This one has a little vent, so it's great. I love it.
Here, I want me to hold it for you.
Oh, and you take that off and you really smell that fruity, yeasty. I don't know if you can see. Can you see?
Yeah, whoa, watch out. You're about to spill it.
I want them to see the bubbles in it. Can they see?
You can.
They can't. Okay, so what it looks like is when you fry a pancake and it starts to make the bubbles on the top, that's what it looks like.
Is that live?
That's the
germs growing in there or something?
Germs. And so it's really
I think it's
sticky
germs.
Like this. And all this is
Tuss.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Flying.
Don't do that.
All this is flour and yeast and water. And so if you want to make this at home, if you have any yeast at home, what you do is you take a little bit of water, like a half cup, and you want to make sure that it's at 115. 120, it'll kill the yeast. One lower than 105, it won't activate the yeast. So you stir in the yeast. And I always put just a little bit of sugar in there because the yeast eats the sugar. And then you wait like 5 minutes to proof it to see if it's alive. Yeah. And what it'll do is it'll
it's alive.
Bumpy and foamy, and then you know that it's alive. Once it's foamy like that, you mixed like a cup of flour in with that. I use 3 to make this. So 3 cups of flour with that packet of yeast in there.
Crystal says, do you have to save some and feed it, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So basically,
it's like feeding me.
You can, if I want it to ripen faster, I keep it out in the warm air, just like it is right now. If I want it to go slower, like I'm not going to use it even for a week, I'll just put it in the fridge.
There you go.
And then you just put extra water and
a lot of the stuff you can go online, right, and Google it and find.
Like a friendship starter is different. It's a sweet bread with milk and sugar, but I just put regular water and flour in this, a couple times a week.
And love, lots of love.
Lots of love.
All right. So while she puts that back, let me go into my tip of the day that I'm going to give you. I'm going to start just trying to give you guys little business tips. This is the stuff that I've often been doing in the stories, but haven't been doing in the stories for obvious reasons. While Tess is doing that, let me get this cable is now confusing me. All right. So what's today's tip? This is really simple. I've said this before. I'm going to say it here in case you guys have not heard this. And it's a really basic one, but something that you maybe are not doing. And when it comes to engagement on Instagram, one of the best ways to improve your engagement in Instagram, not one of the best ways, this is another little tiny tweak that will help your engagement, I think, and really connect with people a little bit more if you're doing stories all the time. And this is for stories, is when you're talking, look at the camera. I'm right now looking at the camera, put my finger by it. Often what we do is we look down here, and I'm now looking down, reading, right, and I'm looking down here, but I'm not looking at you guys, and you guys can see that. And it's just not the same. But when I come up and I look straight at the camera, we're making eye contact now. And there's just something about making eye contact that makes this a little bit better. It's okay if you don't do it. It's not the end of the world. It's really not a major difference in how you do your Instagram. But I do believe you'll see a little bit more connection with your people if you're watching and talking to them specifically. It's going to feel weird at first because if you've been doing this for a few 2-3 years, you might be more used to looking at yourself while you're talking. but you need to just break the habit and just start looking at the camera. And that's going to just help you seem like you're actually talking to the people who are watching versus you pretty much ignoring them and just looking at yourself, which then it looks like you're just making selfies while shooting a video. So that's not so helpful. So we're going to stay away from that and encourage you guys to look more at the camera, just break that habit. And I think you'll see that you're going to be connecting a little bit more with people. All right, that's our business tip for the day. Next, movie recommendation. I don't know if you guys have been watching any of the movies I've recommended. If not, it's okay. Don't take it personally. I get it. It's not all movies for everyone. Everyone has their own things that they like. But I do want to recommend a movie that I think is a great one. And it's probably one that you haven't seen. I'm trying to think of movies that are kind of like gone under the radar, are not as mainstream. I know some of them I have been that way. I guess when I said Forrest Gump, that's a pretty mainstream movie. But I think this film you guys probably haven't seen, and it's like a gem. It's a comedy gem.
This one came out when I was a little kid.
Yeah, in fact, a lot of you guys may not have been born when this came out. I think I was in high school. It's early 80s, right? I think it's early 80s. Yeah. So for all of you millennials, you're like, old movies.
This is special.
This is a special film. It's called Time Bandits by Terry Gilliam. He's kind of a bizarre avant-garde kind of director. A lot of his stuff very bizarre, off the wall. He did another film called Brazil and a whole bunch of bizarre movies. But this film and 12 Monkeys and The Fisher King are probably his two biggest, most mainstream movies he ever did. But this was like his first real feature that he did back in the early 80s. It features a couple characters from the Monty Python. He's actually himself was in part of this comedy troupe called Monty Python from the 70s. If you haven't heard about them, they were considered before Saturday Night Live. There was Monty Python.
It's from England, so it's a kind of a unique sense of humor.
Yeah, it's really quirky, really weird. If you want to see something really, really funny, go check it out. They have most of their TV is now on YouTube and such, and you can probably see it there. Or they also, I think Netflix has a bunch of specials where they took a lot of their stuff and put it together. Monty Python's a great company or great comedy troupe. But the best thing I love is this movie that came out was their kind of first feature by one of their guys, Terry Gilliam. It's basically about these little people who are traveling through time, trying to avoid. They stole something from.
Okay, so can I just say that first of all, it's like an epic fantasy.
Yeah, sci-fi,
like an amazing
fantasy
children's picture book. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine like you're sick and a little kid, and the best movie to watch is something like amazing and epic and like a fairy tale kind of story. This is that movie. So it's got this basically this troop of little people that go throughout time, and trying to get away from this powerful person.
Yeah.
And they go to all these different time zones, and it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, they're traveling different parts of the time, and so they encounter also historical events and stuff like that. Napoleon. So it's really done well. It's really funny. It's very clever. And I think the ending is brilliant and has some really quotable lines. So definitely a movie to check out. If you haven't seen it, You Are My People, Monty Python, these movies take me back. Yes, they do. Yes.
Just a flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound. Yeah, that's not from that movie, by the way. So anyhow, check it out. Definitely kind of an obscure, bizarre movie, but definitely worth it. And it's fun. It's just a lot of fun. And I think at this point, usually open up the floor if there's anyone that has any questions or anything they want to throw us our way. Oh, by the way, if anyone has any more ways to make money right now, we're always looking for that, collecting a list, putting together a list of ways to make money during this hard time, because some of us can't do lashes. And by the way, some of you might be still practicing, and that's okay. If your area allows you, you should. But if your area doesn't allow you, you really should stop and just help us for at least for the next couple more weeks, guys. Just hold on. I know everyone's tight on cash. We are tight. We've had to cut severely. And so it really needs to be a time where we pull back and support and do what's best for everyone, not just for ourselves. So if you can at all, please do that. Oh, yeah. Pulp Fiction.
Lulu,
yeah.
Lulu.
Yeah.
Lash Lab. She said she watched Pulp Fiction yesterday. It was refreshing. I love Quentin Tarantino. You know what's really interesting? When we went to Salt Lake City, we watched Django Unchained. And I don't know why we didn't watch it when it came out, but it was such a treat. We just loved it. It was Quentin Tarantino is fantastic.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino is.
I asked to have one-on-one makeup lessons. Oh, VFB. Yeah. Okay, so that's a good one.
Yeah, doing one-on-one makeup lessons. If you love makeup and you're good with makeup, you can
and you started charging for that.
Yeah.
Lashed by Cass. How much did you charge, and how long was the makeup lesson?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let us know.
Crystal says that grocery stores are running short of willing drivers. You know, it's true. I went to the market the other day and there was a sign on the outside. It was like, we are hiring for drivers.
In fact, in general, I think people are not feeling a lot of love to go work in the grocery store because that's probably going to be the biggest place we're going to have the most contact with COVID-19
But
people.
if you watch that video by Dr. Price.
Yeah, watch that video with Dr. Price.
Equipped.
And you will not feel as fearful as you did beforehand.
Okay, Crystal, you always have such good feedback and good things to say. Instacart has an easy application to fill out on their app. Awesome.
Cool. So Instacart. So I'm writing some of these down because I think we all need to be thinking if this goes on for a longer time, we just need to make more money.
Okay,
$25.
so Lashed by Cass says $25, depending on if it's a specific thing like just eyeliner or film face. Very good. Plus or minus
$5 to $25, depending on how extensive. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Doing makeup lessons. I would email your whole base and say, hey guys, I am here as your beauty professional. By the way, they look to you as an expert. So take that void, I guess, and fill it and let them know. Email your base, say I am giving out makeup lessons on one-on-one on FaceTime or Skype or whatever, Zoom, whatever you use. It'd be great.
Maybe that's what I can do on my next craft thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll put together like a little facial lesson.
Yeah, a little mini facial that you can give people.
I'll send out that you guys can copy. If you
want. I think that'd be great. I mean, right now, the big thing is just to be creative. And by the way, a lot of your clients, not all your clients are hurting financially. I mean, most of the Tuscany's clients are extremely wealthy. So they're not exactly wondering how they're going to pay their next bill. So they're not worried. And basically, if you give them away a little value, they want to support you. They want to help you out. I mean, I've seen this over and over. I've seen people, I've seen a couple of people talk about how people just paid for their appointments and they didn't come in, just sent them payment. And that's really special. If you get clients like that, that's awesome. What else here? And a couple more things. Also have time to kill and have
take-in requests for custom paintings. Clients are happy for pay for custom artwork made just for them.
Well, that's really cool.
Oh, you can also make other things like painted magnets and that's a good idea.
Yeah, I
mean, so many have just Venmo her money, and she's saying, "Get yourself groceries." Oh,
that's really cool. No, I mean the big thing is today more than ever, it's so easy to do stuff online, and with sites like Fiverr and Upwork and other places, you can actually do work for other people and get paid for it now. So if you are crafty or creative in those ways, go put your services up there. And even, and there's levels. Like if you feel like, well, I'm just kind of new, that's okay, because there are people looking for new people who are inexpensive. And then there are really high-end people who have been doing this for 20 years, and that's why their bills, they get charging like $80 an hour. But maybe you're newer and you're like, hey, I'll just charge 10, 15 bucks an hour. It's better than nothing right now. And if you just need to make some money and then you have that, plus you get the government check and get your unemployment check, all of a sudden now you're like, well, okay, maybe I can survive for 3, 4, 5 months if I had to, worst case scenario, as opposed to just saying, because I don't think, and I know a lot of us are hoping that just another week or two. I just don't see that in the cards yet. I see most places like a look around. Everyone's talking about this probably going into May. And I know Trump wants us to get ready in April, but truth is, guys, we're in the touchy business. Like we touch people. And I just have a feeling, my gut says that they're going to limit us a little bit more quickly than places where you can go into maybe a restaurant where they make sure you're social distancing, or they'll probably keep events out of the game. Like events are not going to be happening anytime soon. Anywhere where diseases can easily be transmitted, like baseball, I can imagine with baseball and some of the sports, you might do some things where they limit the amount of, like there'll be no audience. They'll just do it for TV. So anyhow, guys, just a little heads up on that. So I think that's all we have for you guys. Thanks so much for your tips and your feedback back to us. As we do always, we like to end in prayer and just ask for God's blessing and his guidance and his healing to help us get through this time and give us hope, because in this times like this, we kind of need a little bit more than just the usual day. I mean, I feel like I've always needed it, but I think there's more people thinking that, wow, God, I haven't talked to you in a while, and we need some help. So I think the Lash conference will still happen. That's still in the air. It will happen one way or another. I promise you that. It's just a matter of when. We may, will it be delayed? Possibly. We don't know. We're trying to wait as long as we can before we make any decisions, because it's still early. We're only in March, and that's September. So we're not going to make probably a couple, 2, 3 more weeks. And we may wait till May or June before we make a decision. So we'll let you know once we know.
I thank you. I thank you for each and every one of our listeners, and I pray that you would bless them. I thank you for their participation and that you would put a hedge of protection around each of their families and bless them with encouragement. I also ask, Father, that for those of us who have one nerve that's left and it's just completely frazzled and fried, Father, I just pray that you'd give us an extra measure of grace, an extra measure of love, especially to our spouses, our partners. Father, help us to remember why we committed to them in the first place. Help us to remember the love that we have for children, that you've given us. And it might need to be encouraged right now because we might be completely fried. And for those of my sisters who are hearing this and are at the end of their rope, I pray that you would just comfort them and give them grace to pour out love on their families. Father, I thank you for holding us together. I thank you for making all things good. And I pray that you bless my friends in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, as I think we've seen online here, I think less people are doing the Instagram thing, which is fine. Don't worry about it. And we are just grateful for those of you who do come here and watch and listen. We're thankful for each of you. And those of you reaching out to us and DMing and texting me, thank you. We just love all the support, all the connections. And we're going to just keep doing this. By the way, next week, the way I think I'm going to do it just so it's more sustainable for us, because we are trying to do other things right now, trying to think of the future and plan and strategize. And Tessa's getting very domestic with all the cooking and the cleaning and all that. I'm helping some, but she really is doing a lot more stuff with that. We're going to probably just do this 3 times a week right now. Originally, I started with 7, then it was like weekdays. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We got to do this sustainably. We got to make sure we can do this for the long term. I don't want to leave you guys hanging and just quit at some point. So I think right now, 3 days a week, Monday, Amy and the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we'll just start the week with you, see you in the middle of the week, and reconnecting there. And we'll see you in the middle of the week and the end of the week. So we'll see, this may change week to week. So for now, we'll do that and we'll play by ear. Otherwise, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys again very soon. Have a good weekend.
Bye, friends.